Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Let me. I think there's a number of people on holiday. I don't know whether we have a lot of.
I mean, Alex should join, I think.
Okay, yeah. I know Marcus is off. Gregory is off. Severin is off, I think. Yeah. You see my screen?
Yep. So from my point until Alex is here, because anyways he knows it, I created for the Silver Hackathon here this merge request.
Okay.
Just with a little, it's a little draft about
what we want to.
Yeah. So it's just about netconf actions. So the idea is to see where SDC is in November, or when the hackathon is. With SDC actions, and then either, provide feedback or just test it out and see. Because I don't know if in November we're going to have a first version of the actions implemented, or if it's only going to be like a draft of the CRDs.
I think we should have something by then, I hope, right?
Yeah, it would be nice, but then that's why anyway, so if we already have something, then hackathon could be about people trying it out and giving feedback, or
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex just wrote me he's a few minutes late, so he'll join.
Yeah. So actions. Yeah, I was going to do the CRD. I haven't done it yet, but I was going to do it this week. So for the CRD, yeah. So I think we have to put like an ordering or something like that, or yeah, we need to see how Kubernetes models.
Exactly. So actually the title, let's say, of this part I wrote, it's kind of imperative configuration made declarative.
Yeah.
So that's a bit the title of the netconf actions, because I think the hackathon should be a little bit also, people need to try to figure something out.
So we should make it explicit, probably, right?
Yeah, probably need to name it 1, 2, 3 or something.
Yeah, should we name the field order?
That's the question. Either you name the field order, or you have a field which is like run after, and then you pass an identifier of the one before. Because then you can also think about more complex, I guess, routing
or depend upon is the other thing that people do, right?
Yeah, similar to like KRO, where you wait for certain.
Should we do it like that? Yeah. So depend upon. Yeah, you build a graph, right?
Yeah.
That's what KRO does under the. That's what I did with Kform at the time. So you build a graph based on information that you get.
Because then you could also have stuff like actions to do if it fails or stuff like that. So you then have kind of a graph with success, continue there, failure, go there.
So basically what you do is you have a field to say, so you calculate your dependency, right? And then you have a failure policy where you basically say what to do. You either stop or you continue or something like that, right? So you have a failure policy that determines whether you continue or you fail, probably.
Yeah. And you could also think of retries.
So I did that recently for my workflow, so I can maybe copy something from there. Okay. And here's a pact.
So if you want, you can add the link I sent in the chat to your or I don't know if you want to add the link so people can see the.
Where is chat?
Oh, there at the bottom right. Underneath the window.
Here?
No, underneath, just underneath the.
Here,
Correct.
Right. I'll put this here.
Hey, morning. Sorry for being late.
Yeah, no worries. Marcus is on holiday. Community, submit PR, technical proposal, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I'll put it here, right?
Yeah, perfect.
Should we maybe go through the thing? Because I think a bunch of people are on holiday, by the way. So Marcus is off. Severin is off. So I think it will be between us. So on the lease plan, I know that the docs have been released, right?
Yeah.
So I think, is there anything else that needs to be tackled?
There's this PR. So before Marcus went away, I asked him what the status is for this change for the secret config one, sensitive. Yeah. And he was saying that there was this PR that was needed to be merged, and it was this one that he wrote in the Discord. And I looked at it, and then I saw it was about no-op targets or something like this.
There is a so there was a problem apparently. I discussed with him on Thursday. When the target goes down, right?
Yeah.
What happens is we recover the config, but because the target goes down, we write failed into the config CR.
Yeah.
And what happens when you recover, the config stay in failed state.
Right. Yeah.
And so the fix that he did, so I looked at the code, and I was asking him whether it was because the code takes care of it. So if you look to the code, it actually when you calculate, so there is a calculation of which configs needs to be retried, right? And so there is a check if something changed or not, right? And so in this case, there is no content that changes, right? But there is two modes of failure. One is non-recoverable and the other one is recoverable. And I was asking, because if it's non-recoverable, we will not retry. And I was asking him whether what was the status, but I haven't gotten feedback. Because my view is the following, Alex, is like what the PR does right now. It just updates the status without doing anything. And my view is that we should go back to the data server to retry and get feedback rather than just silently change the status without doing any transaction.
But this is because of the early return, right? That was the thing. It was something about the reason that it wasn't retried was because there was this early return if nothing changed, and so we wouldn't have sent a transaction anyway. Is that correct?
No, because if you look to the code, it actually looks at the condition. So even if there is nothing changed in the config, if the condition, I'll show you the code. Wait, where is my this code? One check, one more. So where is config server? Yeah. Okay. So here, this is direct config. Yeah, so build intent inputs, this is where it happens, right? So what happens, so what we do is we get a config, right? And so we get a change, and of course in the beginning we check if the target is ready or not. So there is a bunch of checks, right? So in this case the target is ready. So what we do then is we compute which inputs we have to resend, right? So we go through the configs that we have, right? We check if there is something deleted, right? If there is delete, we add it to the delete bucket, right? If it doesn't have a sensitive config name, so this is a check, right? So today there will always be one, right? But yeah, so there is a check there. Then there is the resolution, and so on. So basically we get some input. Then we are checking if it's non-recoverable. So this is the failure scenario, right? If it's unrecoverable, then we mark it just to see, because if everything is non-recoverable, then we don't retry, basically. So we don't include it. But if there is a change, so for example, it could be that there is, if a leaf ref was not resolved, but then later a config was added and the leaf ref is in, then we are going to retry the non-recoverable errors, right? So that's what this thing does, right? Then we are going to check the changes with the snapshot. And then here we have this. So this is the thing that if the condition is not ready, right? So this is the scenario that Marcus had. We are including it. So even if nothing changes and the condition is not ready, it is included. The only case what could happen is that if the condition is non-recoverable, marked as non-recoverable, we are not retrying because nothing else changes. You see, so that's where so I had a question is what happened with the condition, and because the code at the moment already, if it's a recoverable error, which a target is a recoverable error, it should have retried.
But for some reason it didn't.
Yeah, and we need to understand what happened there. So that's the question. Yeah, so that's the scenario. Yeah, so that's the open point. And I talked to him, but yeah, I was asking him whether he could give me the condition during the test, but I didn't get it. So I'm going to try to reproduce it this week, because that's the pending piece. I mean, I think it works. It's only when the target goes up and down that we have this this problem. But for the rest, I think it works. So that's the only case where we have to figure out what to do and how to deal with it. But I think apart from that, the only thing that I asked him to check is to do the secret in multiple configs or multiple secrets in the same config, just to see, because he just did, so far he did one per config. And I was asking him to change 2 in a config. I have some unit tests that test it, but I just wanted to see end to end whether it was working and whether he could add some integration tests for it, just to see whether we have some coverage there. But normally I expect it to work, but because we haven't exercised it end to end, that was the thing. So these were the two pending things on the secrets itself.
Okay. And then at that point, then it should be ready for wider testing.
Yeah, so I think, right now people can test it if they want, I believe. Of course, so it's in a PR, right? So you have to build the data server and the config server. But I feel it's just this race condition when the target goes up and down that you have this strange case. But so for the rest, I think it should work.
Okay.
So you could try it out in my view. What I haven't done yet, I was hoping on Friday, but then I got some other stuff that I had to do, so the keyring is still, I think that's what we discussed last time. So the keyring is still, let's say, in the artifacts. I need to, so you probably need to build your own, or I will have an example somewhere which you have to apply to the cluster before you put the artifacts. Otherwise, you will not. It will not work because you need this key rotation. And at the moment, I hard-coded in the artifacts, but it's not a good security practice. So we need to. It's the same issue as we have with this hard-coded. What is it? CERT or something. It's it's easy for testing, but it's not so good for common use. Yeah, so that's basically the pending piece here is, so if we look at secrets, there is the target down issue, right? And then there is a check, but I feel that it should work, check for multiple secrets in same config and across multiple configs. But I had the feeling that he did something, he was testing that already. GitHub integration first, right? I think he created a test. Here, so he added already a test for it, for the multiple secrets. You see here? Yeah, so he started adding, I think he added the test in the integration already.
Yeah, okay.
But so the only pending thing is when target goes up and down, we have this issue. But apart from that, so what he told me is that it worked according to him.
Okay.
Except for this case where the target goes down and comes back up.
Yeah. Okay.
This
is this target going down and up again. This is a side effect of the secret config, or was this always an issue?
It should have always been an issue. This is not, it's not new.
No. Okay.
Because it's independent of the secrets, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
So if people, it would be good if more people could test it out. What we still have to do is, I wanted to discuss, but I forgot to bring it up with this authentication PR that Marcus wrote, right? So I was of the impression that the
CLI tool.
Yes, I was on the impression it's very complicated. So in other words, what I was thinking is, so that let's maybe pull up .github here. I'll write it down in it, right? So one of the issues is RBAC, right? So the problem that we want to solve is we want to give a user the ability to see the details, right? So and I was of the impression what I was thinking is if we give so in the RBAC rules also the sub resources is something that you can give permission to or not, right? So I was thinking why don't we give let's say running config and blame an additional sub resource where we say like secure, or I don't know how to call it yet, right? So we say besides running config, which is secure, right? We give a running config or insecure or admin or something like that, and the same for the blame. In that case, so when that endpoint is called, then we just add the include sensitive bool, right? So we go to the data, we fetch it, and so I have the feeling it's a very simple way to accomplish the same code. And then you fit into the RBAC system of Kubernetes, basically, because then a user or something that has access to that sensitive path is able to then get the details. That's how I was thinking about it. I don't know. I will add it to the comment, because all the rest is kind of, we need to add secrets and like user data to the data server. I feel it's very complicated. For a lot of work for something that we can solve potentially way easier. You see what I was trying to say?
Yeah, no, I also was, my first thought was to have it done via RBAC rules, because that's how secrets are protected as well. But I didn't have a idea about, or I hadn't thought enough ahead about how this could be implemented yet.
Yeah. I will add my proposal to the GitHub, but that's what I was thinking, is to leverage the RBAC system, and then of course there might be a little bit of duplicate code, but it's very small because it's basically the sub resource entry. And we can make that code very simple, the reusability very easy, right? That we can call it with an option or without an option. So it's basically the entry point of the code that would be some duplication. So we would have to add a running config, let's say sensitive, or a sensitive running config and a sensitive blame or something like that, where we provide the data in an insecure manner, and then in the RBAC rule that you have to provide to the user, if he has access to the sensitive information, then he or she will have that path included into the RBAC rule. Like if you look today, so like the current RBAC rules.
Yeah, would it be a sub resource, or would it be a new resource, secret, sort of like secret and config map are two separate resources, but they both have the same form, right?
Yeah, so running config at the moment is a sub resource, right? And blame is a sub resource.
So then we have a sensitive running and sensitive blame, or would it be, or can you have a sub resource of a sub resource?
I don't think Kubernetes supports that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the I need to dig whether the API server supported it. I believe there is only one sub resource level, not two.
Yeah.
So you would create something like sensitive running config and then a running config. So that's a little bit the odd side, but yeah, I feel that it's fine. It's rather simple to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here you see, so here you get access like /status is, it would be like /sensitive running config that you add here, right? And then you can give the verbs. So someone who has access or a system, so what you would have to do is say API group config, then here you would say running configs or config / running config or config / sensitive running config, and then the verbs that he can use or she can use.
Yeah. No, I think relying on Kubernetes to do it, it makes more sense because we're talking about Kubernetes resources that are the secrets. So it should just match whatever the permissions are for secrets.
Yeah. 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 So that's, so if you look, so I was looking at the work that we still need to do, right? So there is, so then there is, yeah, so this, yeah, RBAC, I'll call it RBAC, right? To allow to see sensitive info, right? And then there is still the storage problem, right? So the cache. In data server. So that's, I think that's if these are, I feel that this is done, right? Or that's ongoing. So basically, so for this one, I would propose we wait till Marcus is back, right? I'll make a comment into the GitHub just to propose it. I'm going to look at this, try to simulate it this week. And then there is the remove key ring from artifacts, right? Yeah. So I will try to get this done this week. And then, yeah, I think that's the status for me on the secret.
Yeah, Mark, 3 weeks, right? So it would take a bit of time then.
Yeah, so that's unless we do it independently, right? But he did a whole he did a whole investigation.
Yeah, no, we should probably figure it out with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully, I think if he's back, we should probably be able. So this is still a big one, probably, right? Figure out how we should by. My hope is by the end of August to have this done, basically, and then we can put full force behind his actions and ordering, right?
Yeah.
I didn't do the CR yet, but I was discussing with Fabian a little bit. So he was proposing, like I was questioning how we should do the ordering, and he was proposing to do something like depend upon or something like that.
Like what, sorry?
Depend upon, or like having. So either we could do a number. That's the. So there's two things that's so is how do we model the ordering model, and the second, and then we need to add failure policies, right? Like and
retry
and retry,
or maybe it should be retry policy, failure policy or retry policy. You could have
So that's the only challenge that we have right now is that our okay, but that could be a policy, and then you edit. The issue that we have is like our configs are individual CRs, right? So we need to. So the thing is that, do you duplicate this data each time? Like if you have 10 config snippets, how do, and let's say you have two orders, one of 5 and the other of 5. How do we replicate the same thing in each of the CRs, which is a bit stupid, right? So we need, you see what I'm trying to say? Is like, how do we avoid the duplication of things?
I mean, I think they should behave independently, these CRs. Because, for example, if we have an action that maybe fails after it's been done, for example, you have an initialization action, and the first time it goes through fine, but then if it were to be applied again, it would fail. And this is something we don't care about maybe the second time, because failure means that everything's in the state that we expected, but we will still want the other CRs to apply or perform actions. That would be my view on it. So it should be independent and specific to that that group of data. This is only for the action, right? This is not going to be for the configs.
Now, but my question is, let's say, okay, for actions, maybe we group them. We could group them. So my question is really on grouping, right? So for example, how do we deal with grouping? So let's say, so my question is, let's say we have 5 config CR, right? And let's say group 1, right? And 5 config CR in group 2. And we have action CR, let's call it, right? In group 3. And I don't, in group 4, let's say, right? So one option is that you could add the group or whatever grouping is in each of the CRs, right?
Yeah, which we would, I think, have to do, unless you have hands on.
You need an assignment somehow, right, of a group. My question is really, if you do like depends on and policy and like failure policies, you might end up duplicating the same information 5 times. If you see what I'm saying. That's my question, or my. I haven't.
But for the failure policy, why would we duplicate it? It would only be for actions, right? And it would.
Okay. Yeah. So you.
Sorry.
So your proposal is for actions, we only do failure policies here, right? So there's no failure policy in config?
Correct.
Okay. And then you could make the CR of the actions such that all the groups are in the same CR somehow, if you have multiple actions, that you model them in the same CR. Is that what you propose?
No, not specifically. I mean, you could, but it doesn't have to be, right?
Yeah. So in which case, so then the question is, how do you model is the failure policy per action or per group?
Per action or per CR.
Right. And you can have multiple actions in the CR. So basically.
But then we have to decide if it's at that level of the CR. I think it makes sense to be on the CR level.
Yeah. In the action CR and at CR level. And then you can group them like that somehow, right? And then how would we model the depend upon or like the ordering?
Depend on is nice, but it can make a lot of confusion.
Yes. So one is you make something like a group, right? And then you assign a CR in a group, right? At the top level or something like that, right? And then you somehow need to identify the group thingy, or you put a number inside, which is the hack probably, right? It's the less flexible.
Yeah, I mean, depends on is nice because then you can do things like only once this one it goes nicely with this idea of ordering, right? Because you know, okay, this resource can only be applied once this other one has been committed. And in terms of code, I mean, it would be doing a graph.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, but that's what you do anyhow. Yeah, you need to do anyhow. You build a deck.
Yeah, but if you have a number, then you can just be searching for. I mean, you then order by number basically. Whereas with the other one, you'd have to have this graph. Yeah.
The problem with the number is that it might be that you have to renumber all the time. You see, that's the problem. Is that your number is relative, so that's the not so nice thing about it.
Priorities, right?
Yeah, same problem. Yeah.
Same with the priorities. Yeah, it's something to think about.
Yeah.
Both of them I think for a usability perspective, when you've got a small number of resources, depends on is the nicest way.
Yes.
The
problem is
sense how it's modeled, but
ideally what you want is I think you want to have a group. You say this is group one, right? Or group a fake name, right? So group, and then you have somewhere else a definition of the ordering, right? Then you are.
I'm not sure about having the ordering somewhere else. Then you've got another thing that you have to keep a management of.
Correct. Yeah. Indeed. So that's they're all trade-offs. There's one is duplication, and the other one is
complexity. Yeah. I would say if we're going for grouping by some arbitrary value, number is better than a name.
Yes, because you can sort it and you use the sorting. You use the number as a vehicle to determine what to do first.
Yeah.
We can start with a number, right? But yeah.
I mean, okay. We should also ask the people that will use it what they would prefer. Because I know that in Flux you can do it with the depends on, I think, right? If I remember correctly. They have this depends on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to think about it. How to avoid duplicating, right? So the challenge is avoid duplication and making it user friendly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me try to get something off the ground, right? Yeah, that's what we should do. I think is try to get the API done or get a proposal on the table that we say, okay, it seems reasonable, right? Because I feel the rest is going to be, of course, we have to model actions. That's the other thing still on how we have to do action modeling, but okay.
Yeah.
Then we can copy the netconf thing, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I have the feeling that once we have the API done, right? this ordering and stuff like that, if you looked at the code that I just showed before, right, it's somehow this thing is already doing some of these things. So it's, and building a DAG is not, it's very easy to do.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So yeah. Yeah, it's, yeah, from the moment, yeah. So for me, the challenge is how do you build the most ergonomic API that is user,
So
that they use.
friendly.
Yeah. And you don't want to put failure policies in config because we should handle them as we do today, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's my idea.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, maybe somebody decides to do this, but I don't think it's.
No, it does make sense because you specify a config, it should work, right? The only thing what we have right now is, of course, it can fail, right? So let's say a user can specify in group 1, let's say if that's the first group, something that does not resolve, right? Then we should stop. Basically, we should not even try the second one, right? For example, he specifies a config with a ref, and the ref doesn't exist. Let's say it's a mistake, right? We should not try the second thing, because right now the failures we have, we distinguish two types of failures. One is non-recoverable, and the other one is recoverable. And then the question is, for non-recoverable, it's easy, you stop, right? For non-recoverable, for recoverable, we should also stop, probably.
A recoverable error would be communications down for a bit.
Yeah, it's like that. It's transient failures, basically. And but we should anyhow retry with that bucket, right? So we will, yeah, we are retrying already inside of that bucket. Yeah, so we could make it hard coded like that for the time being, right? So it's make it easy or simple, and then we can always enhance it. That you have a base, right? Because the most important thing is the ordering of the actions at the end of the day, right? And then as a byproduct, we can have ordering of configs if needed.
Within, right? We need to have actions ordered within configs in our use case.
Yeah.
So we can't avoid that.
So that's what we should do as the base, as a minimum, right? Because in that case, could we avoid the ordering in the config, treat them all in one big bucket, or is that not flexible? That's not a good. Okay, so we need to have
then action, then config.
Config, action, config. Okay, so we need to have groups there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So should we go for an order, maybe like a number for the time being in the configs?
Yeah, I think so. We need to just define which order. I mean, if it's, I guess 1 would be the first one, 2 the second one, 3 the third one. So, yeah. For me, I think this is fine.
Because if you do the grouping, just to make it, you would anyhow need to put something in the CR, right? Whether it's a number or a name, right? And then have the action depend upon. Does that make sense? Like, so have the configs just like an order with a number, and then the action CR has a depend upon.
So having both.
Yeah, I'm just brainstorming. I don't know.
No, that's just, I don't see the advantage of having both options.
No, I see. Yeah, no, I'm just brainstorming.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's good. That's good. I'm just thinking. I think it adds too much complexity. I think it should be one or the other.
So we should go with a number, as, let's say, and should we call it order?
Yeah, or apply group maybe even, or something like this. Apply group, order group, group order. Yeah.
Yeah, we could make it an object, right? Where you have and then like apply group. Should we do something like that? You do apply group, and then here you put in like a number, or you would do it directly on the apply group, because then you can extend it later potentially.
Apply group order would be quite nice, I think. Here.
Yeah, something like that. Here. So yeah, I was thinking here, and then we put order, and then if we later on want to extend it, we can.
Yeah, depends on, we just swap this one.
Yeah, we add it, right? So then our API becomes more flexible at the end. Right? So we just extend it with other capabilities, and then it's one or the other or something like that, right?
Do we think that maybe we could get like a draft of what a concept could look like, and then I can also share this?
Yeah. So that's what I was planning to do. I was hoping to do it on Friday, but I didn't get the time. But I'm going to do it this week to get a proposal on the table. But I wanted to brainstorm a little bit with you guys.
I will be I'll be off for the rest of the week until Friday, so I'll only be on Friday morning or so. So there's some time. Then I can also have a look if it's ready by then. Otherwise, next week it's fine.
Yeah, I'll try to do it. Yeah. Once you are starting to brainstorm, it's good to finish it. I have to finish. So I'll do it after this call probably, and I'll add it to the PR, to the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to flush out how the whole action CR will look like with the actions, but I think the most important is how do we model the ordering or something like that.
Yep. Agreed. We can take that step by step there.
Yeah. Okay, so let me try to come up with a proposal, add it to the, I'll do it today. And then I think that's it. Is there any other topic?
No, not on my mind.
Okay. If not, we can close the call, I think.
Sure. Thanks.
All right.
Yep. Thanks.
Have a good.
Enjoy the rest. Yeah, enjoy the rest of the week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.